Welcome to yet another episode on Manipur, where myths dance and valleys sing. The eternal flame of Sanamahi, a story of faith, identity, and resilience. Before time itself began, there was only the eternal void. And from this void, the supreme creator Atiya Sadaba breathed life into two divine beings. His first son, Sanamahi, the embodiment of strength, fire, and protection. And his second, Pakhangba, the guardian of wisdom and cosmic balance. But only one could rule the universe. The supreme creator, Atiya Sadaba, challenged both sons to a race around the world, stating that whoever completed the journey first would inherit the throne. Confident in his speed and strength, Sanamahi immediately set off on the long journey, traversing the vast cosmos. But Pakhangba, he did not run. Instead, he walked in circles around their father, whispering, "You are the creator, the source of all things. To circle you is to circle the universe itself." Impressed by Pakhangba's wisdom, their father granted him the throne, making him the ruler of the world. When Sanamahi returned and learned of this, he was furious and deeply hurt. He felt betrayed, as he had physically exerted himself while his younger brother won through cleverness. After losing the cosmic throne, Sanamahi wandered across the land. Seeing his sorrow, Lemuel Sadabi, the mother goddess, comforted him and declared, "You shall not rule the heavens, but you shall rule the hearts of the people. Every home shall be your temple, and every family shall worship you as their protector." Sanamahi, full of determination, descends onto the sacred hills of Manipur, his sorrow turning into a powerful force. From that day forward, Sanamahi became more than a god. He became the guardian of every home, every river, every sacred mountain. He lived in the whispers of the wind, in the flickering of flames, in the quiet prayers of the Métis people, who honored him in their homes and in their hearts. Even today, in every Métis household, a lamp is lit in his name, placed in the southeastern corner. A reminder that Sanamahi is always watching, always protecting. This story emphasizes Sanamahi's personal connection to every family, making him a guardian of households rather than a distant celestial god. It also explains why Sanamahism is largely practiced within homes rather than in grand temples. For centuries, the Métis people thrived under Sanamahism until the winds of change swept across the land. In 18th century, King Pamhiba embraced a new faith, Vaishnavism, and with his decree, the ancient ways were cast into the shadows. The sacred puyas, the texts that held Métis history, were set aflame. The temples of Sanamahi were torn down, replaced by those of Krishna and Vishnu. But the spirit of Sanamahi could not be erased. In secret, the people still whispered his name. In the quiet of night, they still lit their lamps. Though temples may fall, faith endures. Sanamahism persisted through oral traditions and household rituals. The legends of Sanamahi never faded. They live on, passed from generation to generation. A folktale tells of how Sanamahi saved the world from a terrifying serpent demon that threatened to destroy the land. A giant serpent, Kubru Naga, emerged from the mountains, poisoning the rivers and devouring livestock and people. Sanamahi stood against him, spear in hand, eyes burning like the sun. With one mighty strike, he drove the demon beneath Mount Kubru, a sacred mountain in Manipur, sealing him there for eternity. The serpent's body turned into the rivers and lakes of Manipur, and its breath became the wind that still blows through the valleys. To honor this victory, the Métis people continue to offer prayers at Mount Kubru, considering it a sacred site. Another legend describes how Sanamahi brought fire to humans, ensuring their survival and protection. In the beginning, the world was cold and dark. The early humans struggled to cook food and keep warm. Seeing their suffering, Sanamahi decided to give them fire. Sanamahi journeyed to the sun, where he secretly collected a spark of fire and placed it inside a bamboo stalk. He then descended to earth and taught the people how to extract fire by rubbing dried bamboo together. However, the fire god, Maibung Hemchuba, was enraged that Sanamahi had stolen his sacred flame. He tried to extinguish all fire on earth, but Sanamahi protected it by hiding embers in tree trunks, stones, and water sources. To this day, fire can be rekindled from these elements. It was also Sanamahi who taught the Métis people to plant rice, blessing them with the golden grain that would sustain them for generations to come. Long ago, the Métis people lived in hunger because they did not know how to grow food. They survived by hunting and gathering, but food was scarce. Sanamahi saw their suffering and decided to help. He transformed himself into an old man and visited a kind-hearted farmer. Disguised, he asked the farmer for food, but the farmer had none to offer. Moved by the farmer's humility, Sanamahi planted golden seeds in the soil and told the farmer to care for them. Soon, tall stalks of rice grew, and the people had abundant food. Sanamahi blessed the farmer and declared that rice would be the sacred lifeline of the Métis people. To this day, rice is offered in rituals honoring Sanamahi. Legends speak of Sanamahi walking among mortals, blessing warriors with unmatched strength, guiding kings through turbulent times, and protecting the land from invaders. It is said that when the Métis people call upon him with sincerity, he answers, his spirit alive in the sacred flames that never die. Sanamahi is not just a deity but a symbol of resilience, protection, and identity for the Métis people. Sanamahism continues to be an integral part of Manipuri society, preserving ancient traditions despite historical challenges. Today, the faith is experiencing a resurgence, reinforcing the cultural pride and spiritual heritage of the Métis community. In recent decades, there has been a revival of Sanamahism, with growing interest in indigenous Métis traditions. Many people in Manipur are reclaiming their ancestral faith, building Sanamahi temples, and promoting cultural awareness. The revival is not just religious but also a movement to preserve Métis heritage and identity. Festivals like Lai Haroba stand as reminders that faith is not just about gods. It is about people, culture, and an identity that refuses to fade. Sanamahi is not just a deity. He is the fire in the hearth, the guardian of the home, and the spirit of a people who have thrived through centuries. As long as the flame of faith burns, the story of Sanamahi will never end.